for the Environment Ministers session of the second Voice of Global South Summit. The theme of this session is Sustainable Solutions for Climate Resilience and Climate Finance. We will begin the session by playing a short video showcasing key outcomes of India's G20 presidency. It will be followed by introductory remarks by the Environment, Forest and Climate Change Minister of India, and then remarks from each of the honorable ministers. My request for the playing of the video, please.
This Voice of Global South Summit is a collective effort for gaining noble ideas for our collective futures. India's G20 presidency has tried to give a voice to the Global South.
सबका साथ की भावना से ही भारत ने प्रस्ताव रखा था कि अफ्रीकन यूनियन को G20 की स्थायी सदस्यता दी जाए।
Enhance action on commitments under the UN Climate Convention and the Paris Agreement. This will be crucial in helping the Global South fulfill its development aspirations in a climate-friendly way. I strongly believe that it is our collective responsibility not to let the sustainable development goals fall behind. We should find solutions to address the debt risks faced by many countries. We must find ways to build sustainable and inclusive food systems. Our vision of One Earth, One Health envisages good health for the entire ecosystem for humans, animals, plants, and the environment.
When women prosper, the world prospers. Their leadership fosters inclusivity and their voices inspire positive change. We can advance financial inclusion and productivity through digital public infrastructure.
Scaling, reskilling, and upskilling are the mantras for the future workforce. Respond to the priorities of the Global South by framing an inclusive and balanced international agenda. The voice of the Global South needs to set its own tone. Together, we need to escape the cycle of dependency on systems and circumstances which are not of our making.
Now I invite the Honorable Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change of India, His Excellency, Shri Bhupendra Yadav, to inaugurate the session and deliver his opening remarks. Sir.
Excellencies, Namaste. It is my honor to welcome you all to the second Voice of Global South Summit under the theme Global South, Together for Everyone's Growth, Everyone's Trust. The multiple crises of pandemic, geopolitical tensions, and climate change impacts have disproportionately impacted the developing countries and even reverse development gains. The summit is to discuss our resolve to come together amidst the unprecedented challenges facing the global south. And this session on environment will focus on sustainable solutions for climate resilience and climate finance. During the first Voice of Global South Summit held in January this year, about 125 countries from the global south deliberated on the challenges and struggles faced by its members and exchanged ideas for a shared vision for a future in which no one is left behind. Bridging digital divide, arresting environmental degradation, achieving sustainable development goals, stabilizing international fuel prices, growth with ecological harmony, and world peace were pondered in the first summit. India also invited all countries to join the global movement of Lifestyle for Environment, Life Mission, launched by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi to save the earth. India has resonated the views of the developing countries, including those raised during the first Voice of Global South Summit at the G20 deliberations under her inclusive G20 presidency, based on the theme Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, One Earth, One Family, One Future. The New Delhi Leaders' Declaration adopted by G20 recognized the importance of providing climate finance to the developing countries. The developed countries were reminded of their commitment to jointly mobilize 100 billion climate finance per year by 2020 to developing countries and doubling their contribution for adaptation finance from 2019 level by 2025. We extended support to the process for operationalizing the fund arrangements for loss and damages. India's G20 presidency also catalyzed efforts on disaster risk reduction through institutionalization of the Disaster Risk Reduction Working Group. It supports the augmentation of capabilities of all countries, in particular developing nations, LDCs and SIDS, for promoting disaster and climate resilience of infrastructure systems. India, working under PM Shri Narendra Modi ji visionary leadership, has also developed the compendium of good practices on dealing with the restoration of degraded land to forest, fires and mining activities during its presidency G20. To expedite the global uptake of biofuels, India, along with partner countries, launched the Global Biofuels Alliance during the G20 summit. Excellencies, India has actively contributed to the global fight against climate change, despite India having contributed little to global warming historically, and its current per capita greenhouse gas emissions being less than 1/3 of the global average. India has consistently made ambitious commitments and has led by example with ambitious domestic actions to meet its commitments. India is one of the few big economies which is well on its way to meet its NDC targets. While doing so, we have also enhanced our climate ambition. India has achieved around 44% of non-fossil fuel electrical installed capacity this year, which exceeds the original NDC target of 40%, which was to be achieved by 2030. This target has been enhanced to 50% in the updated NDC. To enable a green transition, India has adopted the Green Credit Program for incentivizing voluntary environmental and climate conscious actions by individuals and public and private entities, which would fast track our collective actions toward achieving a sustainable economy. Being an agriculture based country, India has focused on various initiatives to focus on circular economy, reduction of greenhouse gases, promote eco-friendly fuels, and waste management. One such scheme is the Govardhan initiative. The focus is on converting cattle dung and solid waste into compost and biogas, promoting sustainable agriculture practices while addressing waste management challenges. India has also adopted the extended producer's responsibility scheme to ensure that the circularity of the industrial usage of materials is ensured in critical sectors like plastic, e-waste, tires, and batteries. India has been taking vital environmental conservation action as well, exemplified by initiatives such as Amrit Dharohar for the conservation of the Ramsar sites, as well as Mangrove Initiative for seashore habitat and tangible income program we called as a MISTI. While the finance to undertake various activities is yet to be received from the developed countries, India launched sovereign green bonds by mobilizing resources for green infrastructure. To enable the process of raising sovereign green bonds, India formulated the Sovereign Green Bond Framework. The sovereign green bonds have raised about $2 billion US. India hosted the United Nations Forums on Forest from 26 to 28 October 2023 at the Forest Research Institute, Dehradun, here in our country. This country-led initiative focused on two thematic areas. First, forest fires and best practices to its prevention and restoration in fire-affected areas. Second, forest certification and sustainable forest management. India has always shared its experience for the betterment of humanity. Recognizing the collective responsibility in addressing environmental degradation and climate challenges, India emphasized the pivotal role of knowledge sharing in fostering a sustainable future. Excellencies, I am looking forward to hearing your insightful ideas, experiences, and solutions to the pressing environmental issues we are facing today. We hope to strengthen our alliance and speak with one vision, one voice on issues that are vital to well-being of our pupils. I once again extended a warm welcome to you all to this Environment Minister session of the second Voice of Global South Summit 2023. Thank you very much.